Welcome to season 3 of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast. Look, I'm gonna go straight to it. I'm your host, Beto Duran, co-host actually, and this is on YouTube. It's also on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. And instead of playing the fancy intro music, I'm gonna start it off by just saying I'm sorry. We haven't been here for you this summer, but we're gonna explain it all. It's season 3 of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast. I'm Beto Duran, joined as always by Ricardo Romero, the man who say, let's go Ricky Rowe. We have upgraded the technology a little bit. We got little fancy graphics. We're doing it, getting all fancy. Ricky's got a fancy light. I got a fancy light. And we are here. We are back for the people, Ricky. It's season 3. How are you doing?
Good, man. I'm doing good. Just happy we get to do this again. I mean, it's been a while. A lot has gone on,
Yeah.
not just in the sports world, but in the whole world in general. And I think when we kind of stopped doing this, it was it was just kind of starting to kind of go a little bit sideways around the world. So, and we figured we would take a break and kind of regroup, and with the baseball guys having the uncertainty of not having a season and then having a season and then all the stuff that they had to go through, we figured we'd kind of take a step back and just kind of regroup and just see where it took us. And now we're here, season 3, and I'm pumped that we're back.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this for the first time, let me explain to you how it works. Normally, we're going to have a guest on the show. And when we started this podcast a couple years ago, I was like, Rick, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. And Ricky is the nicest guy. He's always going to say, yeah, Beto, okay, cool. Yeah, Beto, okay, cool. I'm the one with all the ideas and how it gets going on, right? And Ricky's like, okay, we'll do it. And then I go this way, he goes that way, he goes this way, he goes that way, we figure it all out. So let's give you guys the backstory of what happened this year, and I'm going to apologize right now. So normally, we do the Ricky Rowe podcast in person with somebody. So if you want to go back and listen on iTunes or Spotify to season 1, you'll notice that every single guest was in person. We would go to players' hotel rooms or the lobby whenever they're in town in LA, sometimes their house, and we'd interview them, and it was cool. Usually on the day of games, and remember we had Liam Hendricks from the A's. We're in the lobby at the hotel, and people just walking by like, what are these guys laughing about? We're in CC Sabathia's hotel room as he's getting a massage, when he was with the Yankees. So it was cool. It added that flavor, that element. And then we took a break because Ricky's got 2 young toddlers. I got other jobs, and we're like, you know what? Off season, we'll give these guys a break. And with podcasts, Ricky's learning it. It always evolves. So season 2 comes out, and we're like, yeah, we'll do it again. We'll get going on. We're learning, and what happens, Rick? COVID hits, and there's we just had to adapt. It was just crazy.
Yeah, and adapting is the right word, because we were doing them. We had some good guests come on. We had the Kevin Pillars, the Rowdy Tellez of the world, Vernon Wells, who had some good stories to share, all that good stuff, and even send us some nice wine that we still haven't opened, but we're hoping we open it soon. We had all that, and it was just still, we were still kind of adjusting to that, and then obviously all this COVID stuff hit, and we just figured we kind of would take a break, and rightfully so. I think there's more important things, but I feel like slowly we're kind of maybe the World Series kind of happened and all that good stuff happened. The Dodgers won, and it was a good to have baseball back and that entertainment. Even though we were missing the fan aspect of things, but other than that, I thought it was good.
It was good.
Our Lakers NBA championship.
Yeah.
And like I said, people like to focus on the negative stuff that's happened, but there's some positive stuff. We just have to remain positive throughout all this time. And I've lost family members due to COVID, so it's been some rough times, and so hopefully we're able to move forward and just continue the positivity in this world.
Yeah, and it's sorry for your loss, Rick. I remember we've talked about that, and it's like we've all had somebody who's affected with it. And it's just 2020. Everybody wants to say it sucks. Yeah, it does. It just completely threw everything off kilter. But you've got to find something positive. So let me give you guys more behind the scenes. So we started doing the beginning of COVID, the show, as Ricky mentioned, online. We had great help production-wise from Pro Angle and Jeff Proctor and his guys. But then it became a hassle of like, okay, we got to get these guys live. That way the fans can interact with us. Yet at the same time, it's hard to schedule me, Ricky with the two kids. I got teenagers. And then I have jobs. And then to get the player to say, yeah, I'm ready to commit to you at this time. But then I got to figure out that their lives. And then the studio. And I tell you, it's way behind the scenes. And we're very transparent on this. And it was just, it was really hard. And then.
Well, I remember when we were going to do it in the studio. And then they're like, "Hey, not everything's kind of close by. The mics are close by," and that was I remember now. That was another reason why we couldn't do it in studio, because we were, when you do this, when you're at your house, I'm at my house, you run into internet problems, internet connections, choppy video, all that stuff. So a lot of the stuff that people don't see. Again, like commit.
You're learning.
Having guys commit, and then. That's why during season it was like, well, these guys are already in the bubble and they already have their plate full. For example, the Toronto Blue Jays, they didn't have a home till like 2 weeks before the season. And next thing you know, they're in Buffalo. They had to transform that place, which looked amazing. And there was just so much uncertainty, and which is why, like, again, we took a break. Apologize. But again, I'm very happy to be back, and hopefully we get back on track, get some good guests, get some stories, and have the fans get back into it.
Yeah, and the final apology is going to come from me. So Ricky and I recorded an end of season 2 episode. Like, hey, it's all right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later on this year. And I deleted it. So the technology is there. So I take full ownership for it. And I wasn't going to ask Ricky, hey, let's do another 30 minutes of what we just talked about. So that was my technology problem. So if you follow us on the Instagram page of Let's Go Ricky Rowe, we do check it. We are there with you. And we're going to be very, very active. So here's what's going on moving forward. Now that everybody knows how to use Zoom, Skype, whatever. Everybody knows how to talk on their computer. They're more comfortable. So that's what we're going to do with you. We will record the episodes during the week, and we will release them every Thursday. So every Thursday, expect a new episode available to you. It's just going to be too hard to have them do live where the fans can interact with us. So we're not going to do that. So we're going to either record Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, have a fresh episode for you on Thursday. Today it's just Ricky and I. We're going to recap what's going on, but that's what it is. So expect a fresh episode every Thursday for you on your wherever you listen to podcasts, and it'll also be available on YouTube. So go and check out my page, Beto Duran, and it'll have a separate playlist to say "Let's Go Ricky Rowe." And now that the technology has gotten better, simple as that. I just email somebody a link and they jump on, so we can go all over the world wherever you want to go. If we go find Hank Conger in Korea, we find Manny Beretta in Mexico somewhere, or we go to Canada, we can do it. Because haven't you noticed, Rick, too? Because you've been doing a lot of these interviews. Everybody's comfortable now talking to the computer. It used to be, I don't know how. Now it's like, okay, let's do it.
It's almost like this has forced people to be tech savvy a little bit, and everything's done. I mean, I don't know how many Zoom calls I've done since this started, and it's been a lot of, like I said, a lot of good stuff. I've gotten a chance to talk to different universities. I was in a call this week with BC Baseball, British Columbia. We talked to a few kids in that area, and that was pretty cool too. When you're able to share your wisdom, share stories, and just try to answer any questions that the host had for me. It was a tremendous Zoom call. I was really excited. I've done some Zoom calls still with the 108 performance people, breaking down certain guys and still trying to learn that analytical side as far and the movement side of things. So a lot of good things happening, and hopefully I'm able to finally land a job somewhere or something.
Oh, you're like everybody else. You're unemployed right now?
Unemployed, man. I mean, I just, but it like I said, this time has allowed me to kind of just sit back and enjoy my kids. We're obviously expecting baby number 3 in April.
Oh.
So
baby number 3, breaking news on the Let's Go Ricky Rowe podcast, unless you follow Ricky on Instagram, but baby number 3 is coming.
baby number 3, 2 boys, and this one's finally a girl. So we're excited about that. It should be here in April. And yeah, I mean, it's just
That's cool.
adjusting to different things. Bought a house in Canada too. So I mean, it's so
You bought a house in Canada, so we are going to have a studio in Canada.
right. Yeah, I mean, the house is that's in your room. So we're excited about that. We like I said, it's some tough times, but we're hoping that we somehow get through it. Not just as a community, but as the whole country, the whole world. Ah, man, I don't know. I mean,
It's crazy.
It's crazy. When you turn on the news and you're seeing all the stuff that's going on,
Yeah.
it's just.
It's when you like you're a lot younger than I am, so when you start thinking different ways of like how the world is going, I'm over here looking like, damn, I'm not going to retire in Kabul in 10 years. I got to find another job. Like I got to start doing things, and it's interesting. It's interesting times, and we'll get all into that. But first, I want to say thank you to the people who sent messages about the Ricky Rowe podcast coming back for season 3, because people would check it all the time and say, "Hey, when are you guys doing it? When are you doing it? We're doing it." And without giving too much of the personal lives, it's like soon. So what we've decided to do with the podcast is make it an off-season podcast, because we've learned on the fly that when you try to do it during the regular season, everything could go crazy and players get into the routine of where they're at. So it's just a lot easier for us to say, hey, off-season podcast. So it's like a hot stove podcast for you. We're going to just tell you more stories, and we'll have it for you every Thursday. But right now, Ruben Polanco, who sponsored us at the Sinisa Estrada golf tournament, said, heck yeah, let's go. I have the tequila and cigars ready to go for the next golf outing. Ruben Polanco, you are a machine. Danny Martinez.
You can have those. I want the Vega protein. And
Oh,
Vega
yeah. He brought, dude.
Yeah, you can have the tequila. I'll have the Vega protein bars.
Dude. So we play with this guy, Ruben Polanco, hooks us up. Vega Sport Protein. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff. I'm loaded. I'm ready to go. Great guy. Took care of us at the Sinisa Strata golf tournament, Sinisa Championship Boxing for Golden Boy. Awesome time. We'll
And for me,
yeah, and from East LA. We'll definitely do it. Your hood. Welcome to your neighborhood, Ricky. Dan Beers, Danny Martinez. Do you know how much we needed you during this COVID stuff? Man. Oh, can I get some podcast stickers and we'll call it even? Yeah, Danny Martinez. When you hear this, send me a message with your address and I'll take care of you. We have like 10 stickers left, so I'm going to take care of you right now. And we know that we needed you during COVID because we needed you as well. Robert Calzaditas, Kyrie's Grampy in Othello, Washington. Yes, thanks, guys. You're back. Dodger Paul, my guy in Indio. Congratulations to your Dodgers, by the way. 100. Finally, Ricky's back. Okay, well, I'm here too. Danielle Marie. Oh, I know who you are. Danese. What's up? Glad you guys are back. Thursdays. Okay, thank you, Beto. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Gordo Wapo. How about you get Horacio Ramirez on the show? Remember him?
Yeah, he'd be a good one. He's still playing it, probably.
Wait, or is Gordo Wapo the guy that you met at a gas station?
He's out there probably stretching that old ass body of his.
Vendados 0213, Brad Urbanovich. A lot of people are UK fans, Blue Jays fans, UK. As always, Justin Jones, a big supporter of the show, has it. And as always, Westside Love, everybody else. So we have a lot of people saying we are back. So they're excited for us. We will get going with you. All right, so that's enough behind the scenes stuff. Most importantly, Ricky, we took a big break, reality, from the podcast because we want to become professional golfers. Right? That's the deal?
You want to become a golfer. I just want to go out and play, man. I think that's what's keeping me sane during these times is that the golf courses haven't closed. Slowly getting better, but still have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, slowly getting better. You are damn good. But we have been playing a lot of golf just to get out of the house, and that's where some of these ideas have come at. Here we go. Toronto. Whenever you do something, I saw the BC Academy. You do something with the Blue Jays, everything else. You bought a house in Toronto. Why buy a house in Toronto, Rick? Like, you live at the beach.
Because, well, one, it helps that Carl's from there. Two, when we go out there, we now having a third kid where we don't fit in the anymore. It's pretty hard to have two crazy ass boys in a hotel room or at my mother-in-law's place.
Okay.
So we figured, we've always wanted to buy a place out there. I mean, it's been a thing of ours that it'd be nice to have a house here, our main home here, obviously in Southern California, and have a house out there. And during these times, we figured, we started kind of just checking online to see what was out there, and then we found out one of our one of Carr's best friends is in the process of buying in the same area, and he's like, "Oh, it would be a good idea maybe if you guys moved into the same area." And it just kind of started
That's
as just,
cool.
on kind of like how our camp started as banter when we hosted that camp. It was a year ago yesterday, and it was just one of those things where we started searching, and then next thing you know, we hire a realtor, and then next thing you know, we're in escrow, and now we're looking to furnish this place. So it's one of those things where we still hope we can make it up there eventually. Obviously, with all the restrictions that there is right now, it makes it a little tough. But luckily, we've had her dad out there, kind of being our set of eyes and making sure everything's going smooth.
That's awesome that you're doing that. And anybody always says, "Oh, we're gonna go back home. We're gonna go back home." Like how many Mexican families always said, "I'm gonna go back to Mexico," right? Or like, "I'm gonna buy a house in Mexico." My mom and dad are still talking about buying another house, and they're almost 80.
Yeah, but I mean, I think I've been fortunate enough that the Toronto Blue Jays bring me in for a lot of different events. Obviously,
Right.
this tour was a little bit different, and we're usually always there for like 4 or 5 days, a week, and then we're rushed, and then we never really get to do the stuff that we want to do because I'm either busy, Cara is obviously with the boys, and then I get home or get back to the hotel, and so we're always just everything's on the go. And I was like, you know what, we need something where we can actually go there for 3, 4, 5 weeks and just kind of wind down and be in the comfort of our own home. So we just looked at all the pros of it,
That's
and
cool.
it kind of worked out. So we're really pumped. And to me, Toronto's my second home, and it's always going to be my second home. And anytime I'm out there, it's always refreshing to me. It's just something about Canadian people that just they're super nice, and it's just I get welcomed with open arms. So it just makes me want to be there all the time.
That's awesome, and that's great that you set yourself that you can do that because I know you rave about it. And the more you talk, like in our group chat, everybody's like, "All right, we're going to Toronto. We're moving. We're getting passports. Let's go. We're gonna figure it out." And that's great, and that's awesome that you set your family up like that for generations to come, where you can say, "Hey, we have roots here, also, man." Because your
Yeah.
kids are Mexican and Canadian; they are ready to go.
And yeah, they have a little bit of everything. So
See,
I
Rick,
know Sebastian absolutely loves going there. I mean, it almost makes him sad that like he's like, when's the coronavirus gonna go away? Like, when's COVID gonna go away? And then he's
yeah,
like, Mommy, I want to get on a flight. And then he'll see because we're like, oh, nobody's flying right now. And then he'll see obviously we live close to LAX, and he'll see a plane come by, and it's like he's like, but I thought you guys said that there was no flights available. So it's like he's just it's like that young kid that's confused, on different things. And we tried to explain it. Obviously, it's tough on them. So they miss grandma, they miss grandpa.
yeah.
Cara misses her parents. So
That's,
a lot of that stuff is going on right now. I mean, it's not just us. I don't want anybody to feel sorry for us, but
no,
because a lot of stuff it's happening, and it's real. And just you ask for everyone to be safe and be careful.
it's so many different things, and you're like Sebastian's what 5 years old now, or 4 or
Yeah.
5. So like trying to explain that to little kids, I can't even imagine what your house looks like. Look, I got a 15 and a 10, and it's hard. And a lot of credit to their mom for putting them up through school and everything else. And it's hard with those kids. I can't imagine the two little ones that you got. Like maybe like you need a break, Rick. You do need this podcast. You need a podcast. And kudos to your wife. She does a great job.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, that's why I was like thinking about it. I was like, this is when you mentioned it, you had mentioned it for like the past month. You've been kind of like, hey, when are we going to bring it back? When
Yeah.
are we bring it back? And I said, you know what? I need a day during the week where I can just kind of sit down for an hour, and we get to
Yeah.
talk shop,
Yeah.
and shoot the shit here, and just talk about today we're obviously going to talk about different things, from being in a bubble to being in the, watching the Dodgers win the World Series,
Yep.
watching the Dodgers win the championship, because I feel like a lot of people, nobody was allowed in this arena, so everyone was watching from home.
Yeah.
Obviously Texas in the World Series, they allowed some fans, but still, I guarantee you, when the Dodgers were in the World Series, probably, I don't know, 90+% in LA were probably watching the World Series from their couch and rooting that team on. And it's crazy, but again, it was cool to kind of see the Dodgers win the World Series.
Yeah.
It honestly was. I grew up a Dodger fan, and we talked about this in the group chat. Let's just get into it now.
There
We
you
talked
go. Take charge, Ricky. That's what I like.
with the whole uncertainty of the season and everything, and it it was missing the fan element. Everyone saw that. I mean, fans just bring a different energy to the ballpark, and when you don't have that, it's tough. And just seeing my Blue Jays, not have a home and all that stuff, and then, like I think I said it earlier, the people in Toronto did an amazing job with that stadium in Buffalo. And shout out to my girls Michelle and Marnie, um, Steph and Shannon and all those girls that did a tremendous job out there. Um, but I was gonna say, seeing the Dodgers win the World Series was just really cool. I remember we were in the group text message, and I was like, man, this is cool because it brings me back to when my dad used to take me and sit in the pavilion to watch the Dodgers play. We used to buy those $6 tickets, and then get a hot dog and a soda, and just kind of sit there, watch BP. And I used to love all that stuff, and that's what it kind of brought me back to. I was like, man, this is cool. I know how much it means to the Dodger fans. Obviously, I like watching them. It's not like I have like I'm a crazy fan of theirs, but it was cool for the city of LA to see them celebrate the way they celebrated, watching it win.
Yeah, it was really, really cool to see it, yet surreal, yet weird. And full disclosure, in the group chat, I'm that guy that's just salty and hater on everything. Like, I will go contrarian on purpose, just to, because we have there. You know those fans, that your friends that are like the hardcore fans, and if you say anything against their team, they get mad. Well, we know those guys, and I purposely, poke the needle. I'll even text Ricky on the sideline. Hey, look, I got time. Watch this, right? Just right. These guys get all mad at me, and then they get, like, so on purpose. I'm doing that now.
No, it's cool when you get to talk the game. These
Yeah.
guys, our group chat. Marco, Ace, Chaton, and Alex, yourself, and me. I mean, it's good banter. I mean, you got two guys who pitched in the big leagues in that group chat, and for me, it's always cool when they ask us questions. Oh, what do you think? Or what are you thinking? I never pitched in the World Series. I never pitched in the playoffs, but I still have a little bit of insight of what it feels like to have a blister on your finger, for example, like Walker Buehler did, and if it was affecting him, if it wasn't affecting him, and all that stuff, and watching guys, like Kenley Jansen, get trashed by fans, and I'm sitting there like, hey, like, take it easy, like. So this is that thing where I like to bring everyone back down and say, remember, these kids or not kids, these guys are human beings too. They're not trying to go out there and fail. If anything, Clayton Kershaw, watching him hold that trophy, it was just, to me, it was really cool. Because I've gotten a chance to talk to him, I've gotten a chance to spend a little bit of time with him, and just an amazing human being. And
Where did you? How did you talk to Kershaw?
Well, when Justin Turner got married,
Okay.
I saw him there, and we had a long talk, and it was cool. Like I said, a hard worker. He does a lot of stuff off the community or off the field, supports the community, and is involved in all that good stuff. So just watching him hold that trophy, he's gotten thrashed by a lot of fans in the past, and him not being clutch and this and that, and just watching him go do his thing and kind of put the icing on the cake, to his Hall of Fame career.
And I was at the World Series covering it for CBS2 in Los Angeles. I was there for the first 3 games, I think. Yeah. So it was different stories. I'll tell you the background of it, but I love where Ricky's going with this angle of Kershaw because you were on a TV show or a radio show in Canada, and you said you picked Kershaw to be your MVP, right?
I did, yeah, and everything was kind of lining. I also said the Dodgers would win in 5, and it was lining up to that. And then obviously they had that rough Game 4 ending, and obviously they ended up winning it in 6 or 7. I don't even remember 6. And yeah, but I was like, man, if on a perfect world he's going to win Game 1, and then he's going to come back Game 5, get another win, dominate, and boom, there it is. Obviously, it didn't work out like that, but again, he did what he had to do, did a tremendous job, and I'm happy for him. I'm happy for a guy like Justin Turner too. He's been came in as a free agent, minor league contract, and he's built himself into a superstar here in LA. And to watch him, win the World Series, obviously it was a little bit. It sucked for him right there at the end, with the stuff that happened. But, at the end of the night, he's a world champ now. So
that's and for people who don't know, Ricky and JT were not just college teammates, they were roommates. So, and when I met you guys, JT was on the bench with the Mets. You were on the rise with Toronto. You guys were going to Laker games, and it was nobody was stopping Justin Turner. Now this guy, his life has completely changed where he can't go anywhere without being stopped. He gets crushed here in LA for the rest of his life because he's done such a great job with the community, his foundation, his golf tournament, and that's just some of the stuff that we know of. I can only imagine some of the stuff that he does off the field that we've never heard of. Did you have any kind of communication with JT during the playoffs?
Yeah, we did. We texted a little bit. I'd ask him certain things, about just the game and what he was seeing and stuff like that. And but yeah, we had a little bit of communication, and then once he won, I was like,
yeah,
I can imagine how many messages he got, and I did text him, but I wasn't expecting a reply. Again, he had his plate more than full after winning that series. So, but yeah, I mean, we've texted since, and yeah, I mean, like I said, that whole team, that whole organization. I mean, you said it. You're happy for the people that have been there working for such a long time. From our guy Chaton, grounds crew guy who lives and breathes Dodger blue. You just see all that stuff, all those stories. People saying like, sitting in my living room crying. And that's being a fan. And that's. Yeah. How much it means to them, and it goes to show you what sports can do to fans and to the people who love their beloved teams. It's awesome when you see that kind of emotion.
Do you remember '88? You were too young, right?
Oh, I was only. I mean, '88. If it was so I was about to turn 4 years old.
Yeah, you don't remember that. So this is the first real championship that you've seen the Dodgers win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so for '88, I was 10 years old, and I remember Gibson hit the home run, and I'm like in the room jumping, and I remember hitting the ceiling, right, of the house, and I'm like, what? Like, it was just, I was that kid. And now as an adult, and as a reporter for the last 20 years, I've been in the business 20 years, it's, I don't root for teams. I'm not a fan. I love sports, and I've always said this, and I know people are saying like, oh, Beto, you sound so jaded at times. No, I love sports. I love watching the 1% of the world perform at the highest level, where Clayton Kershaw can do with his eyes closed. It's crazy. It's amazing to watch these guys, whether it's pro soccer or football or baseball, whatever it is. I love watching the sports. I love telling the stories. But when you see, oh, I'm a diehard fan, I'm like, I've also seen the business side of what it is. You go be an intern for the Clippers, and you're going to see a lot of ways things happen. I've also seen how people just get treated as commodities. But with the Dodgers and also with the Lakers, there's some people that work for the team that you feel live and die with them. Seriously, like the receptionist, like Richard Fernando, our friend, the grounds crew, where they're using the Dodger job as a second, third job just because they want to have that connection with them, and they live and die with the team. Or hardcore fans, and I love seeing the hardcore fans enjoy this. And as a kid who grew up in LA, to see the Dodgers win a championship, it's great for the city. I love seeing the way that the city came together. I love seeing the way that the fans come together. I love seeing that. Now, am I really happy that certain players won? Whatever. Like, I don't care about that. I love seeing the person who's been a scout with the Dodgers for 20 something years that you've never heard of, but they are the ones that were the backbones for this. Like the guy at the elevator, the people that work in the press room for the press dining, like Jeanette, who's been there, the cashier for years. Like the people there, like you know that they bought their championship shirt and trophy, even though they work for the organization. Like those are the people I'm really happy for.
This is where you almost wish you had fans, you know?
Yeah, man.
Stadium, Game 6. I don't know if they would have been home or not, but you imagine them just being in that kind of, that place would have erupted.
Yeah. And you remember you went to Game 7, right?
Yeah, I did against Houston. Yeah, I did. I went to Game 6 and Game 7, and just
crazy
the energy of it, and then the down of it too when they lost, and you just, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what you know what the fan element can do.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people were saying, okay, now we can finally put that Kirk Gibson shoot, I'm drawing blank.
The highlight.
The highlight.
Put it away.
Put it away. But you know, it's still, and it's true. You know, I mean, my mom and dad always, or my mom always tells the story when they won in '88. They went to church the next day, and the first thing that came out of the priest's mouth was, "Go Kirk Gibson." I can stop telling that story because I think I've heard it about 1,000,000 times.
That's you're always going to remember where you're at for certain things, and that's why sports are amazing. That's why I still work in it. That's why I've never done real news or the weather or the traffic, because there's always a great story to tell in sports. And that's why for the World Series, like I said, I was there for CBS2 covering it, and it was weird. I remember texting you guys back like, this is weird. Like, it feels, they were allowed to have 12,000 fans in the stadium. You had to wear a mask when you walk in, but then if you go to the bar, it's different. It was just so surreal. I remember asking you and Sanabia, like, what's it like fan-wise, are the players affected by this? And leaning on you guys so I could use my reports when I would come back and say, like, hey, this is what I'm pretty sure talking about. As far as a member of the media, you weren't allowed to go anywhere near the players. So every interview that you did was via Zoom. You were allowed in the stands, but you couldn't go anywhere near the field. There was different tiers. So I was in tier 3, which means I'm third deck. I can't go anywhere near the field, which is usually where I thrive and get information. This time it's not happening. And it was everything was just weird. And I've never been to a game in Tampa, but it felt like a game in Tampa. Like everybody was making that joke, oh, they're used to 12,000 people. And it really was, because you would have seats of 4, spaced, seats of 4, every other row for the fans. And it just didn't feel like a playoff game.
The one thing that it didn't lack, though, was the player energy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
From beginning to end, the emotion, the home runs. I mean, we saw the Padres and the Dodgers when they went at it, and just the shit talking back and forth, and the pimping home runs, and all that stuff. You know, the players didn't miss the beat when it came to that. And I think there was a question they asked Justin Turner, and I want to say it was him, where they were like, you know, do you feel like it's the same, or something about it, the energy of the game? And he's like, well, it's still the World Series, and it still feels like, you know, like we're at each other's throats, kind of like them just not taking any pitch off, and everyone was into it. You can see it. You can just see the energy of it on the field. You know, you can just see it. I mean, it was so cool to see that. You know, obviously when you're watching it on TV, you know, it's just, I don't know if were they using fake fan noise?
Yeah, so what they did was they had, each team was their home game. So like the Dodgers had games 1 and 2. So they had, the players had their at-bat music. You know, the pitchers had their music, and then they would pipe in the organ, like Dieter Rule, who does a great job at Dodger Stadium's organist. So you would hear some of his stuff. In between commercial innings, like the stuff that they put on the board would be like stuff from the Dodgers. Same thing with Tampa. You would see the Tampa stuff. So it switched up. You wouldn't hear, there was no fake fan noise in the building, but it was the natural crowd reaction. So the Dodgers hit a home run.
Was it still pretty could you still hear it? Like, was it still kind of loud? Was it?
It,
I mean,
it,
obviously,
it's because that stadium seats 44,000, and it's
yeah.
indoor. So it's for I said it reminds me of playing in Arizona, where that kind of atmosphere, that kind of setup. Because Globe Life Ballpark is a brand new stadium. It's cool, but it just had that. For me, it just felt sterile. Like I'm thinking the Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, 55,000, where it's going to take you 4 hours to get into the parking lot. All that stuff where you make no, and that's part. Yeah, all that stuff, right? All that stuff about it. A player intro, and mind you, most of the fans there were Dodger fans, but 11,000 people making noise in a building that big just doesn't get loud enough to feel like a World Series. Like
now, the day that the Dodgers won, though, the city of LA, definitely hear it. I mean, fireworks and
yeah,
it's crazy. Like I said, to some people it means a lot, and it's just not just the it's generations that it's been passed on to. People who say, before I die, I want to watch them win. It's really true. People can wait for this, and it was one of those things where, like I said, I was happy for the city of LA, and hopefully next year or next season, we can get a bit back to normal and see some good baseball.
It's once again, people always make say, "Oh, it's 2020, it's crazy," but at the end of the day, these guys are World Series champions. And I remember telling you guys a story in the group chat where Julio Urias, who I kept making fun of in the group chat, as on the side, I'm like, dude, this guy's been dealing. But just because I like messing with Marco, like, oh, he's gonna suck today in this game. You've been saying that all year. There's just certain people that you can just poke too easy.
No, he really. I've always said it from day one. He's got tremendous stuff. He's got Julio. All the stuff that a starter need. I mean, his stuff is so explosive. I mean, he works at a good pace, and obviously, he always ran into that first inning trouble. From the games that I watched, but then he always would recover. And he came out of the bullpen. He was pretty much unhittable, and it's something you expected him to be. And he showed. The crazy thing about him is that you didn't even know he had an out left to win the World Series. He was just so calm, so composed, and that's big time, especially when you're in that situation. I'm sure his heart was beating fast. He definitely didn't show it, and I'm sure, when he got that third out, it was a big relief. So many years of not winning a championship here in LA. You see him. You see a kid like Victor Gonzalez too. Another Mexican kid who was a big part of that relieving or that bullpen. It was just so cool to see that. Young kids getting their shot and performing at the highest level, and for a World Series trophy, it was really cool.
Yeah, and I said this after the first game. So, as reporters, you don't have access to the field. But you know me, I'm going to find a way. So I didn't get to the field, but I saw that Dodgers were taking BP, and I was like, let me get there a little bit earlier into the stadium. And I knew the pitchers, they always do that power shag. So I was like, let me find somehow a way I can get to, because our camera setup was in the outfield. And I see Victor and Julio out there, and they're shagging. And I'm up in the fan section, way up high, and I started yelling at Julio, and he recognized me because we've known him since he was a rookie, or actually before that when he was in Cucamonga. And his the guy he works out with, Rox Royal, make sure to introduce us. We took care. We know him well, and I'm like, all right. So I look at him, and Julio doesn't recognize me, and then I'm like, hey. Then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, I see you, because I forgot I'm in freaking a suit and makeup. Like he's just thinking I'm just another guy yelling at him, and I was like, hey, good job last night. How you feeling? Are you pitching today? He's like, yeah. Remember I sent you guys what he said? Hey, 3 more, and then I get my ring. Tres más y el anillo. He did 3, and then did that. And I'm thinking, this guy is so confident right now, mentally and physically, that he's thinking of getting a ring. Not maybe we can.
He wasn't going to get denied, and he showed it. He showed it. He wasn't going to get denied at all. And you could tell Dave Roberts didn't even hesitate to let him go back out there for that 9th inning. Even though I said it, I did say it. I'll admit it, and I'm sure Dodger fans won't be happy because I was like, it would be nice to see Kenley go out there and get those last
Hey,
three, everything he's been through.
I thought the
But
same. I thought the same.
but again, you got to ride the hot hand.
Yeah.
I'm sure the San Francisco Giants weren't thinking that when Bumgarner was going out there for the ninth inning of the World Series of Game 7. So it's just one of those things where you ride the hot hand. But
Yeah. It was cool to see, man.
I'm happy for the guys, the Turners, the Kershaws, the Kenleys of the world, those guys that have been through it all, and they've gotten denied, but finally they get to hold that trophy up.
And all right, now let's make this personally about you because it's Let's Go Ricky Rowe. You, like I said, you never pitched in the playoffs, but you are a World Series champion on the collegiate level. When the final out is made, all right, what are you thinking right before that?
Oh, dude. Well, if we go back to 2004 when we won the College World Series, I remember I was sitting in the dugout. I was sitting in the whoopsie. Sorry about that.
No, it's Toronto calling.
I remember sitting in the dugout, and I couldn't, it was 2 outs, and I remember I was like, I had a towel over my head like this, and I was like, oh my God, we're 1 out away, we're 1 out away, we're 1 out away, and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, is this really happening? And Jason Windsor was our starting pitcher. He was throwing a complete game, and then Jesus, hold on,
The phone is ringing. There's an animal in trouble.
Before I explain the story, let me put it on airplane mode for a little bit.
Oh, who's calling us? Who's calling us?
I was in a not long ago. I rear-ended somebody, so I already got my Tesla back, but it's the dealership call.
Let me delete that part. Let me delete Curtis Gold. Our lawyer does not want you admitting any kind of fault.
It wasn't my fault. Anyways, I remember just sitting there in the dugout, and it was one of those things where it was a pop-up to right field, and when that ball went up, it took like eternity to come down. And I remember Bobby Andrews, our right fielder, caught it, and I started jumping up and down, and I just didn't know. It was just you almost like black out. It's true when guys say, "Oh, what were you thinking as you were rounding the bases of that big home run?" Oh, I blacked out. You really do black out. You do. I remember I wasn't sure if I was like laughing, but like tears were coming out at the same time, and it's like you have so many emotions at that moment that it's just you can't even control it, but it was the coolest part was you get to celebrate with your teammates, and it's what's going on.
Don't worry about it. People want to listen to the podcast early. That's what it is. Like our good friend Blue Stang, who said, "Ya era hora," Eric Camargo. You know what, Blue Stang? You're right. We'll have that for you. Like, we'll get you. Like, every Thursday, a new episode of Let's Go Ricky Rowe. So, Blue Stang, while you're at it, why don't you go and leave a review on iTunes, since you're complaining that we didn't give you enough stuff. Subscribe on YouTube at Beto Duran. And why don't you share it with friends? Let us know. And I have stickers left, so hit me up with your address, and I'll give you one more sticker. So, we have 9 stickers left. But that's the thing about it, though, Rick, was like the emotions that was going on, and like I remember the next day I was like, hey, telling our group chat, hey, let's get a podcast going, and it was like, we couldn't do it, but it was just to see what you can do for a community, because for the rest of his eternity, the Dodgers are going to be known as the 2020 World Series champs, and Kike Hernandez will be a champion forever. Justin Turner, a World Series champion. On their tombstone, it'll say World Series champion. Like, that is just awesome for them. And if you're some of the people that work behind the scenes in the PR department, like Joe Jerick and everybody involved with them, and you see them and you're like, damn, like the nights that you work from 9 a.m. to midnight afterwards, and the members of the media, and you see what's going on, and you're just like, the grind of, hey, we're playing Cincinnati on August 12th, like, and it's a 4-hour game because somebody tied it up in the 9th inning on a Sunday afternoon getaway day, and you're like, oh, what am I doing here? It's all worthwhile when your team wins the championship. So it's cool to see all that stuff. Now, speaking of forever being known as a champion, LeBron James will be always known as a Lakers champion, Ricky Romero.
Right?
That's right.
That's right.
So go ahead, get your Laker, pump the chest up.
I'm just happy, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but the Toronto Raptors didn't win the NBA championship. You know why? Because I wouldn't hear the end of it with my father-in-law. Him and I go at it every year on sports, and basketball is one of them. So, we're defending champs, baby. Come on.
Move a little bit to your left, Rick, and show off that James Worthy jersey that's behind you. There it is, James Worthy jersey back there. So the Ricky,
and then you can't forget, I put the Mamba back there now.
Oh, you got the pictures.
Yeah.
That's cool. Our good friend Ty Now took those pictures.
Oh man, yeah, he hooked it up. I mean, he those pictures are incredible. You know, I mean, I have another one here that I haven't hung up. I plan on my son wants it in his room, so this is another one.
Oh wow, is that one of the Ty took?
Yeah, they're all from Ty. Yeah.
Yeah, so our friend Ty Now used to be in charge of Lakers social media, and he was a photographer for them also. So those are some of the pictures that he sent to you. He's now doing great work with the Chargers. Right? Fantastic photographer.
Because I saw him repost somebody and I was like, dude, tell me where to work. Where can I buy that picture? And he's like, send me your address. You know, I got you. And
that's cool.
Yeah, when I opened that package, I was like, wow, He sent me one of I haven't put it on a frame yet, but it's one where I think it was his last game, and he's fist pumping Gigi, and oh man, I remember seeing that, and even Cara saw it, and she started crying right away. And obviously, she's a little bit emotional right now, extra emotional, and she just started tearing up right away. And it's one of those things where I want to hang that one up eventually. I just don't know where yet. Sebastian wants it in his room, so. So, it might be something that we do, or I want to actually take one up to the house in Toronto and put one up there. So,
so you're going to take some Lakers stuff to the house in Toronto where your father-in-law.
Yeah. I ain't letting I told my father-in-law there's none of that Raptor shit allowed in there, you know.
Ricky Romero will never be working on a Toronto Raptors broadcast.
No, they had a cool run a couple years ago. It was really cool. And I was there for some of the playoff games, not in the state, not in the arena, but outside of it, and everything they're able to do, Jurassic Park and all.
Yeah, it looks
incredible
cool.
What they're able to do, and I tell you what, all of Canada rallied behind the Toronto Raptors. It was really cool to see, But when it comes to just me and my father-in-law, I can't give in to any of that, But I really do respect the Toronto Raptors and everything they do, and then they become a force, in the East. And but when it comes to my Lakers, there's nothing in between.
Everything except for the Lakers. And for those of you guys who don't know, Ricky did serve as a Lakers special correspondent for one game. We tried to get him to interview Kobe, but it was a different circumstances. It was hard to do. But he did interview Pau Gasol. So, Ricky, on your resume, because you're looking for a job because you're unemployed right now, we got to update you. Wait, there's no way you've ever done a resume, huh? No.
Nope.
Have you ever had a job?
Yeah, for the past 20 years, I was a baseball player. It's my job.
Hey, all right. You got me there. Have you ever had a manual labor job?
No, I haven't. But
good for you.
But it's funny you talk about that interview. I was so nervous being around those guys, and knowing what I know now, and if I look back at that, I'd probably be like, "Wow, I can't believe I was asking those questions," or I felt awkward. Just because you have to grow a little bit of confidence when it comes to being behind a mic and all that, or being behind a camera. It's one thing when you're out on the baseball field, in the mound, in front of 55,000. It's different, and as opposed to having a mic in front of you and having a screen in front of you. But I feel like I've adjusted well.
Yeah, no, you're good.
More and more comfortable. So I was able to do those 6 games last year in Vancouver.
That's right.
Which completely new experience, but feel like I got better every game. So yeah, we'll see where it takes us. I mean, obviously, baseball is my passion, and hopefully something happens there, and hopefully we're able to do something.
And you're the host of the Let's Go Ricky Roll podcast. You have stickers. We should get some shirts made up just for the group chat. Saisawana for some people. What's up, Razo? And then, but
oh man, Razo, does he want to hear it more? Because here in this household, we don't only bleed purple and gold, but we bleed. You know what it is, Razo. 49er, red and gold, baby. And the funny joke behind that is that we were out golfing last week, and he was talking a lot of shit about the LA Rams and this and that. And I was like, careful, man, because they get Deebo Samuel back. And he obviously put me on blast with the video I sent you guys. And he's like, Deebo, who the hell is Deebo? And I was like, oh, you're going to know. And sure enough, he ripped him to shreds this past Sunday. So I was happy about that.
Yeah,
anytime I meet any of my friends in something like that, it just, and I'm sure Roz will feel the same way. I don't think you said it. He doesn't feel, he's not mad that the Rams lost. He's mad that he lost to you.
Because it's pretty cool. So Javier Razo is a friend of ours, and we golf with him every Thursday. He's a matchmaker at Golden Boy and a die-hard Rams fan, season ticket holder. When they went to St. Louis, he was still a fan. His eyeglasses still have like a Ram logo on the side, and he will bet Ricky anything about anything Rams and Niners. It'll be the coin flip. He'll do it, and he'll get so upset because he loses to Ricky. He doesn't care that his team and Jared Goff sucked. It was, I lost to Ricky. So that's back and forth.
Respect on Deebo's name, Razo. I told you. You owe me money, mofo. You owe me money.
Ricky put on a Niners helmet to talk trash to people. That's how awesome 2020 is. So, but people complain that 2020 is bad. No. Ricky's good. His Dodgers won. His Lakers won. His Niners are winning. And the podcast is back.
It's been a rough one for the Niners. It's been super rough.
No, it hasn't. You beat Razo.
Oh, twice, yeah. But the thing that's cool about the Niners, though, everything that's been thrown at them, like they've had injuries like no other. They right now they don't have a stadium. They're going to play in Arizona. They've had so many challenges, but the fact that they're still in the wild card hunt, I mean, it's just amazing. I feel like in other years, you would just say, oh, yeah, they're just going to win 3-4 games, maybe 5. But now it just seems like they're putting it together. Their defense looks good. And I'm just hoping now they beat the Buffalo Bills because me and my father-in-law have a bet. So.
Oh, shocker.
Yeah.
Final thing, I'm gonna bring this up right now. I almost said this guy. This shout out to Canada. Do you know who Tavon Campbell is?
No.
He's a defensive back, a rookie defensive back with the Chargers. He had a pick 6. He played in a place that you went to, Regina. That's where he's from. He's Canadian, right? You went there, right?
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. So he, I remember thinking that, and I was gonna say, I'm like, I think Ricky's been there, but I wasn't too sure. He's a rugby player for the Canadian national team. Started playing football. He's from Scarborough, Ontario.
Okay.
He went to Regina University. He played for the Calgary St. Peters, Saskatchewan Roughriders, Montreal Alouettes, and now he's with the Chargers as a DB. Wow. He had a pick 6 a couple weeks ago, and we were interviewing him, and I wanted to say something, and I'm like, maybe, I don't know, because I know when you do the Blue Jays camps all over Canada, you're everywhere, so I didn't know what it was. So I was like, damn, I got to ask Ricky about this guy. So shout out to everybody in Canada, the Canadian Football League. Yeah, there it is. All right, so next week we will have a guest. Oh, man, we went 55 minutes. We were supposed to... Oh, there's my dad calling me. Everybody's calling me now. Don't. Where's my kid at? Oh, well. But, yeah, it's we went 55 minutes. Normally the podcast will be 45. We're going to get a guest. Next week we'll have somebody for you. As always, go to Let's Go Ricky Roll on Instagram. Follow it. Let people know what's going on. Share the podcast. Let us know. Go to the rate and review section and let us know where you're listening from. And we're going to be consistent with you every single Thursday. There will be a new episode of it. Now, if you see us golfing on Thursday mornings, just know that we were so dedicated to you during the week that we were able to golf. So if we don't have a podcast for you, we will not golf. Okay, we won't post that we're golfing. But we'll do that for you. Rick, I felt good, man, like riding a bike.
Felt good. It felt good. A little rusty. At times,
we're good.
Drew blank on a few things.
That's right. And as always, this is not a paid sponsorship. Our good friends at Westside with the hats, they are having a sale right now. Let me give you the proper Instagram handle. And they got some cool shirts coming out right now. And I actually just ordered some on Black Friday.
I got to show you, Diego. He's been yelling my name.
All right. WestsideLove.us is the Instagram. There you see the shirt. Wait, there you see the shirt. Here's the hat. They have great stuff for you. We'll see if we can hook up with them again and get you guys a discount code as Christmas approaches. So, oh, you got the kid? Dude! He's huge!
Say hi. Can you say hi?
No way!
Yeah, there you go.
That's Aitor. He's huge.
He's pink, man.
How old is he?
He's going to be 2 in March.
Dude, you hurt picking him up, Rick. He's heavy.
Can you say something? Oh, you're just going to wave? Okay.
Hey, say hi, Marco. Say hi, Sanabia. Hi, Canada. Hi, Sebastian.
He knows how to say his babysitter's name. Can you say Gloria? No?
No? Dude, that kid is going to be a 6'7" tight end, man. Rick, what if you get a kid that plays for Canada, the other one for the United States, and one for Mexico?
That's fine with me.
There you go. We got them all covered. All right, bye, Diego.
Can you say bye-bye? Say bye-bye.
Dude, Rick, he doesn't have hands. He has paws. Put his hand up. Bye, Diego.
All right.
All right. All right, we'll take care of it. If you guys all need anything, if you didn't watch this, go back on YouTube, Beto Duran. You can check that out. As always, thanks for Ricky Romero. We'll be back. Oh, now you want to talk.
Yeah.
Hey, that kid's vegan too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
He's a machine. All right, Rick, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks, as always, for listening to Let's Go, Ricky Rowe.